Hey guys, John Vegan here from PhoneArena. Right now you're watching our in-depth video comparison between the Apple iPhone 5 and the Nokia Lumia 900. Now it's the best Windows Phone device out there right now versus Apple's latest and greatest. They feature a lot of cool stuff. For starters, gorgeous looking displays. You have some nice cool looking designs with these two. On top of that, you still have 4G LTE connectivity, so if you're kind of curious as to which device you want to go with, whether it be an iPhone 5 or a Lumia 900 with Windows Phone, we're going to help you out on that one. So sit back, relax, and let's get started with this. Gotta admit, we like the designs of both handsets just because they have a lot of character and class to them. With the iPhone 5, we like its premium feel with its brushed aluminum casing, and on top of that, it's both thinner and lighter than the Nokia Lumia 900. But what makes the Lumia 900 still easily attractive is that it has this nice polycarbonate unibody construction. It really stands out from other things, and a variety of different color options just gives it a lot more, fashionable appeal to it. But if we were to drop both handsets, we fathom that the Nokia Lumia 900 would fare better than the iPhone 5. There's no kidding that these two handsets have some sharp looking displays on them, but between the two, overall we have to choose the iPhone 5 on this one with its 4-inch Retina display, mainly because it's a lot more detailed versus the 4.3-inch clear black AMOLED display on the Lumia 900. So it's a resolution of 1136 by 640 in the iPhone 5 versus WVGA on the Lumia 900, which is 800 by 480 pixels. And with that, when you do the calculations, you get a higher pixel density in the iPhone 5, and it's really most noticeable in the web browser. In the zoomed out view, we can't probably see it here in the video, but as we look closely, we could still make out the fine details on the iPhone 5, whereas on the Lumia 900, its details tend to be a little bit more on the garbled sides. But nevertheless, nice thing about the Lumia 900's displays, those saturated colors typical amongst all AMOLED panels. It has a noticeably cooler color reproduction versus the warmer tones in the iPhone 5, which is actually more realistic. Beyond that, they have some nice viewing angles, high brightness output, but in outdoor usage, the iPhone 5 really shines. Accidental presses are pretty much non-existent with the iPhone 5's recessed yet tactile home button, but still, we didn't have any issues pressing any of the trio of Windows capacitor buttons on the Lumia 900. So above the displays, we find the usual set of items. For example, you have their earpieces, and they also have front-facing cameras. It's a 1.3 megapixel one, the Lumia 900, versus the 1.2 megapixel snapper on the iPhone 5. So even though both handsets feature 3.5mm headset jacks, microphones, and speakers, as far as their charging ports are concerned, they're different. It's Apple's new proprietary Lightning docking port on the iPhone 5 versus a more traditional micro USB port on the Lumia 900. And finally, in the rear of both handsets, we find the respective 8-megapixel autofocus cameras. With the iPhone 5, it features an f2.4 lens and a single LED flash. The ability to shoot 1080p videos. In contrast, the Lumia 900 features an f2.2 lens with Carl Zeiss optics and dual LED flash, but has only 720p video recording. Also, with both handsets, there's no access to their internal batteries, but they both start at 16 gigabytes of storage. But with the iPhone 5, you can either choose to go up with either the 32 gigabyte version or 64 gigabyte one. As we dive deeper, looking at their respective platforms, one thing's evident right off the bat is that they're both very intuitive as far as moving around the platform. But with the iPhone 5's iOS 6 experience, it continues to be the more straightforward and simplistic user interface. In contrast with the Lumia 900's Windows Phone 7.5 Mango experience, we like it for its personalization, a little bit more personalization. You can tell here with the start screen, you could change, move around the live tiles, and just has a general dynamic look versus the static approach on the iPhone 5. But beyond that, it seems like there's a little bit more flexibility with the iPhone 5, just because it offers the better notification system, and on top of that, you also get voice assistant with Siri. On paper, it would seem as though the iPhone 5 would have the slight advantage in the processing power with its 1 GHz dual-core Apple A6 processor with 1 GB RAM versus the 1.4 GHz single-core Qualcomm Snapdragon S2 processor with 512 MB of RAM on the Lumia 900. But to tell you the truth, their performance are pretty identical. Very smooth with their overall operations and other basic tasks such as opening up applications, pinch zooming, stuff like that, even surfing the web. It's pretty much instantaneous with these two devices, and overall they perform similarly to one another. With its larger display, you do get a slightly more spacious keyboard layout with the Nokia Lumia 900 in portrait, but beyond that, there's nothing really too much separating the two. They're both fantastic to use just because they're super responsive, and on top of that, they both feature some really good autocorrect features. When it comes to their web browsing experience, we gotta say it's pretty much a close tie with both devices just because they both feature 4G LTE connectivity for fast page loads. On top of that, they're very responsive with their navigational controls. The only advantage with the iPhone 5 is that with its Retina display and high resolution, we're able to make out more fine details in a zoomed out view. There's a lot to like with their respective music players. They're very polished. With the iPhone 5, the cool thing about it is, of course, cover flow mode, which gives us a look at all the albums that we have stored on the device, and you can browse through them like so. And with the Nokia Lumia 900 and Zune experience, you get a pretty much compelling experience too. It has a nice presentation with it. And as far as their audio quality, their speakers, they're actually the same. A very strong volume output with barely any distortion. Honestly, it's great using both handsets when it comes to watching videos. With the Lumia 900, you get a larger display, and of course, with its clear black AMOLED display, you get those vibrant looking colors that really captures that attention. But it's equally the same thing on the iPhone 5 with its great looking Retina display. As we mentioned already, both handsets feature 8 megapixel cameras. Up top, we have the samples from the Lumia 900, and the bottom being the iPhone 5. And as far as outdoor image quality is concerned with their cameras, pretty much identical. A good amount of detail, natural looking colors, a balanced exposure, but with the Lumia 900, it does have some issues as far as taking macro shots. You can't be as close to your subject, but the true difference here is just in lower lighting conditions. You could tell here right away that there are more bland, washed out looking colors with the Lumia 900, where it's more distinctive and natural in tone with the iPhone 5. And furthermore, in really low lighting conditions, there tends to be some noticeable purple fringing going on with the Lumia 900 shots. So even though the iPhone 5 is the better handset when it comes to taking still shots, in terms of high-definition video recording, they're actually quite similar. Good details, natural-looking colors, clear audio recording, and top of that, gradual exposure. It's 720p on the Nokia Lumia 900 versus 1080p on the iPhone 5, but as we said, they're pretty much close to one another. Call quality is actually superb with both devices, almost flawless, just because with their earpieces, you get a strong volume output, voices are clear and distinctive, and of course there's no background noise or static like that, so you could have conversations relatively easily, but with the iPhone 5, it really stands out for its noise cancellation feature. Interestingly enough, the Nokia Lumia 900 offers the better battery life between the two, as we're able to get by a day and a half of normal usage versus the single day on the iPhone 5. But of course, if you're in an area that has 4G LTE connectivity, you can expect those figures to drop dramatically. As it currently stands, the Nokia Lumia 900 is selling for $50 on contract through AT&T, while the iPhone 5, of course, starting off at $200 through the 3 major carriers out there, AT&T, Sprint, and Verizon. Therefore, if you're kind of more in a budget and you don't want to spend a whole lot to experience a decent or a great smartphone, take a look at the Nokia Lumia 900. It still has a lot to offer and has a very compelling design, which really stands apart from most things out there. But if you really want to experience the latest and greatest and the more premium device, no question about it, the iPhone 5, just because it really excels in a variety of key categories. For example, better looking design, higher resolution display. You have also takes better photos than its rival here, so very lovable in many aspects. But if you're not held down to a budget, again, you want to take a look at that, guys. So if you'd like to learn more about both handsets, guys, you can check out our website, PhoneArena.com. This is John V. Thanks for watching.